It's almost time, kids. The clock is ticking. Be in front of your TV sets for the horathon. And remember the big giveaway at 9. Don't miss it. And don't forget to wear your masks. The clock is ticking. It's almost time.
Happy, happy Halloween, 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 happy, happy Halloween, silver shamrock.
Hello, and welcome to Nerd Herder. This is a series we do called NerdyVerse, and I am John.
I'm Megan.
This is coming out sooner than expected if people keep up with the schedule. If you can even guess what kind of schedule we try to keep.
We do our best here.
We do something. Nonetheless, normally this would come out after we talk about some Star Warsy stuff, but because of how life is set up at the moment, we're talking about Halloween instead.
But it's Halloween, John.
It is. So
it's exciting. It's the most wonderful time of the year.
it would have been cool if this came out on Halloween, but you know, you can always wait and listen to it then. If you are, then happy spooky to you. If not, then we're just the pregame. We're just getting you ready for the pumpkin day.
Getting you ready with one of our favorite Halloween movies. Well, one of our favorite scary not scary, horror adjacent movies.
One of our favorite.
One of
your favorite. I'll say one of my favorite Halloween the series movies.
Yes, my favorite.
You have to quantify this. So what we're talking about today is a Halloween series sequel that has nothing to do with what is most iconic about Halloween at this point in time, which is Michael Myers.
There is a reason for that, and I wish more people knew that.
Well, to be fair, we've moved past... I mean, the reason it's not in conversations now is because it wasn't in conversations then.
No.
So, like, I don't feel like there's active avoidance of this, but I feel like there's a lack of awareness. Like, I feel like so many people just hear, oh, Michael Myers isn't in this one, just skip it.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so we are fans of scary movies. We're fans of the spooky season. And Michael Myers, the Halloween series, is not, I would say, anywhere near my, like, top 10 even, maybe. I haven't sat down and actually done it, but I really enjoy particular parts of this series. You know, against the grain, I really enjoy Rob Zombie's outing with these. The first Halloween film is unrivaled. I think that Rob Zombie did some amazing work with it.
Yeah.
Some of his best work in film in general. Honestly, I'll fight somebody on that one. And then the most recent one, Halloween 2020, I guess, is what we're calling... No, 2018, sorry.
2018, yeah. That one was
very
stunning.
good.
It was very good.
A very appropriate sequel. So it's a series that kind of captured people's attention pretty quickly. It's a very interesting premise when you sit down for the first film. Obviously, you've got an iconic score introducing you and everything. So it becomes something everybody loves about it, and then all of a sudden it completely changes gears, and that's when we have Halloween 3, technically, which you'll explain in a little bit. But we wanted to talk about it, number one, because it's a Halloween movie, so how appropriate.
Place on Halloween Day.
Yeah. But also, you know, to highlight something most people probably wouldn't talk about. Like, a lot of people would talk about, you know, some of our more favorites, you know, like, Halloween. You would talk about Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Child's Play, you know, any of the new Conjuring verse, or does it have a name?
It's the Conjuring universe.
Sure. So any of those, like, there's so many series that prevail in the airwaves, I think.
There are definitely more, like, some would say iconic horror movies, but I'm personally a fan of sequels. Like, I love...
Most of the series we love actually have some of the best sequels.
Exactly. Like, I love Child's Play 2. I love Friday the 13th Part 7. That's our favorite Friday the 13th movie, I think.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I mean, definitely, like, my nostalgic favorite.
Yeah, it's so
like,
good.
You know, for me, my compartmentalized brain rating favorite versus nostalgic favorite versus dumb fun favorite are all different lists, and it's horrifying.
Yeah.
That is why my worst fear is when people ask me my favorite things.
Which
What's
I
your
do
favorite anime?
pretty consistently.
Like, what do you mean? Fighting anime? Fantasy anime? Do you mean magic? Do
Mm-hmm.
you mean AU? Do you mean mechs? Like, there's so many genres, dude.
Yeah.
What's your favorite metal band? What kind of metal? Like, goodness
Are we
gracious.
talking grindcore?
Right.
Are we talking screamo?
Deathcore. Screamo is not an actual. It's a.
It's punk. Well,
no.
no, it's not punk. It's alt adjacent.
I didn't bring her here. Don't judge me.
Hey, yes, you did, and also I misspoke. Thank you.
You're everywhere I go. No, like Screamo's like a fan brand, so that's like I wouldn't say that torture porn is an actual brand
God, no.
of genre, but it's something that fans have come to describe things like Saw, Hostel, and those kinds of
Yeah.
movies.
Movies that I'm not a huge fan of,
Right.
but I can appreciate
I-
everything that happens around.
Yeah, like out of context, me saying I like the Saw movies can mean different things to different people because of brand names like that. But like for me, and I'm not saying all the movies.
Saw 1 and 2 are
fir-
unparalleled.
Well, I like the first three. It's a solid story. And that's the thing. It's the story. It's the
Yeah.
twists. It's the good cinema.
Yeah.
Um,
You also like Donnie Wahlberg.
I do. He's the best Wahlberg. He's the best wall
Wow.
in this house.
He is a load bearing.
He's my boy. Yeah, and I know people have feelings about the Wahlbergs, and me liking them as characters does not condone or endorse people like
He's a new kid on the block.
Right, he is. He's the best kid on the block. I'm just gonna say.
They're now the
Look,
old kids on the block.
I like Mark. I do like Marky Mark, but having just said, hey, I know some people don't like the people,
Mm-hmm.
not the characters. A lot of Mark gets in on his characters, and so it's a hard separate for me. So it's interesting.
Understandable.
But no, Donnie's great. He's a phenomenal actor, and he kind of gets passed over for his brother.
Mhm.
He doesn't look as dashing and muscular, sure, but he's a great actor.
He looks like a
And
cop.
Saw gives you a chance to see that. So does Blue Bloods. I love that show.
He looks
Tom Selleck can be my
like a
dad
cop.
any day.
I agree. I agree with that one.
So anyway,
Yeah.
genres aside,
Another sequel that is fantastic.
mhm.
The best Exorcist movie is The Exorcist 3.
I mean, I've only seen the first one and that one. So
Yes.
out of the two, I do prefer the third one.
It's really good.
Um,
It's so well written.
It's really good. It's really scary, which the first one was not, and I was very disappointed in that, having been built up for years.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I
speaking
think it's a generational thing.
yeah, well, I mean, it's a hard thing to get me in that context because by then I had already seen so much. I was already desensitized to like general horror.
Yeah. You had also
know.
already seen Scary Movie.
That's what I mean. What?
Scary Movie, the parody film.
Does it have? Does the first one have anything to do with that? I don't think so.
Second one, I think.
It's one of them, but yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking
see.
of the movie we're talking about, actually isn't that scary?
No, it's not. It's
like-
more of like a mystery thriller kind of movie.
Which is in the vein of what Halloween is this weird thing, okay? Because John Carpenter and his wife started this.
Mhm.
And it was meant to be a series all along, but it was not meant to be a character series.
No, it was meant to be an anthology series.
Right.
That is something that a lot of people don't know.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Like,
it's hard to when you have
Yeah.
a Halloween 2 that undoes the premise.
exactly. That's the thing. Is like they made Halloween 1,
Mm-hmm.
and then Universal came back and was like, "Hey, we want more of these movies.
Mhm.
They are so good. People love Michael Myers. Like, you need to make more."
Mm-hmm.
And John Carpenter was like, "I have an idea. Every year, well, it was John Carpenter and Tommy Lee Wallace,
Mhm.
who is the director of this movie. They had a brainchild of every year we're gonna release a Halloween movie,
Mm-hmm.
not Halloween as we know it, where it's Michael Myers in the Cult of the Thorn and whatever. Stupid premise. Paul Rudd shows up. He's fine.
One of I don't like that role. I don't like that role for
No.
him. It's just a weird place in
No.
his history.
Paul Rudd belongs in Ant-Man and Wet Hot American Summer. That's where he belongs.
I'll have to take your word on Hot American Summer.
You need to watch
so.
it. It's very funny.
Okay.
But yeah, they were like, hey, we want to make anthology movies. Every year there's going to be a different story, different characters, completely different. But Universal was like, okay, but how about make a sequel first?
But here's the thing. They didn't have to take it.
No.
They didn't have to follow up. I can understand in the moment, you know, you get a check written for you. Like, I mean, I get the business decision, but again, the hard part is if they wanted to do that, which I guess it just depends on how much the brand was believed in. But if they wanted to do, I would have waited a couple years. Like, I would have done Halloween, then do something different, and then maybe do it, or then like put it off. Bring Michael Myers back eventually.
Yeah. That's how it should have been done.
Right.
Like, I think if John Carpenter had more creative control, that's how he would have done it.
Mm-hmm.
There's also the fact that this movie was not marketed well. It's like Solo in that regards. Like, it wasn't... The trailers didn't really say, hey, this is a Halloween film. It's going to be an anthology series. Like, it was like, get ready for the
next edition
Halloween film.
Well, and by then, again, they'd already had 2 movies. They had Halloween and then Halloween 2.
Exactly.
Both Halloweens attempting to kill Michael Myers. Like, he wasn't always meant to be the zombie man that he is.
He officially died in Halloween 2.
Yeah. And he potentially, like, the first one ends ambiguously because they didn't plan to follow that up. Like, what do you mean he's gone? Like, well, we don't know because we're not coming back to that.
Yeah, that was the end of the story as far as that movie was concerned.
Right. Now, Michael Myers technically is in Halloween 3.
Technically. Because...
in several scenes, actually. Like, at least 3 scenes.
Halloween... This is such a weird choice, but Halloween, the movie, exists within Halloween 3, the movie.
Right. Yeah, like, so this had a lot against it for why it fell into the wayside, I think.
The executive producer, who I didn't even write his name down, he hated this movie. He said several times that was a stupid decision to walk away from Michael Myers, and that's like all he had to say.
Well, I disagree. I mean, I think part 4 was the worst one in box office. I think
it was
4 or 5.
4 and 5.
Everything after this
bombed
until H2O sucked.
Yeah. And I think that's just because there was no heart in it after that.
Yeah, I mean, and you could see that every new edition was them just trying to grab at something to keep this alive. The last good at that point Halloween movie was Halloween 2. I mean, if John Carpenter and them, maybe if they had just decided to do it differently, rebrand, do a different name, restart their original idea, maybe they could have done something. But as it stands, to be fair, yes, when you stack this against a Michael Myers movie, it's not a good movie in comparison.
Yeah.
Like, it's a decent movie, but it's not a good Halloween movie. But on its own as a scary anthology, this is a good story. It's a really it's a feature-length film Twilight Zone episode.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what I feel like it was meant to be, was a Tales from the Crypt style anthology series, which this would have been a great Tales from the Crypt episode.
Yeah. I mean, and so again, to be fair, I think the first film was such a good slasher villain film, it didn't fit even with that Twilight Zone single one-shot episode style either. Yeah. So I think in general there was a lot of things that from concept to completion was very off, and unfortunately a decent movie got lost because of it and everything.
Yes.
But you can find it, you can still watch it. It's worth checking out.
Oh yeah, it's available for rent on Amazon Prime, YouTube. You can get it pretty much everywhere.
As I mentioned, it's not super scary, so if you're not into the big scary movies, then this might be a good fun one. It's also laughable. Like, if you have some fun with it.
Oh yeah.
If you play a drinking game, you can take a shot every time that the Silver Shamrock song comes on.
And you'll be dead in 3 hours.
Right. Yeah. And then the brand choice was very interesting, Silver Shamrock, because it sounds like such a, wait, are you sure this isn't a Leprechaun movie? And it's like, no, I mean, Golden Pumpkin would have been something.
It
I
makes
mean,
sense.
I know the owner's Irish,
Cochrane.
but like still,
Not only is he Irish, he is Druidic
he
Irish.
is well, yeah, because the lore goes back deep. Like they try to sew in some deep lore. Now, and he's played by. Do you have his name? His
I
actor's name?
don't.
Okay, he's played by the bad guy from the RoboCop movies, though.
Yes, he is.
Which he's one of my favorite villain actors of the 70s and 80s.
Oh, he's
He is
great.
fantastic.
If he wasn't in a Bond film, he should be. Well,
Right.
I think he's passed on now.
He's done. Oh yeah, he's done so many great movies though. Really, really, really great actor.
Mhm.
Like he honestly is the best actor of the whole film.
Yeah.
Like they spent all their acting money.
Well, him and Tom Atkins did a fantastic job.
Is that Mr. Mustache?
Yes, Mr. Mustache.
He was all right.
Dr. Chalice. Yes.
I don't know. He was surrounded by bad actors though. I mean, okay, here's the he was surrounded by minor role actors.
Yes.
I'm trying to say it in a way that's not super offensive. It's just one of those things where I feel like he's decent, and he did a lot of TV acting and everything.
Yes, he did.
But by comparison, being around and working with different levels of, quality,
Yeah.
it brought him down. And so, in general, there's not too many. Like the last scene is a perfect example of him on his own
He
being
did fantastic.
great. Him, in the torture scene when he's taking out in the end, when his doll friend is checked out, but he's rescuing her. Like everything in the climax is all him, and it's all good.
Yeah.
It's everything else when he's interviewing, when he's consoling, all of that stuff was just
Consoling.
Come on.
Fun fact about that. Okay.
Yeah, she's half his age.
She's half his age, and not only that, but in her contract there was a very specific no nipple clause.
Oh, really?
So you never see any nipple in that movie.
Interesting.
At least not from her.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. Tom Atkins did not have that no nipple clause.
Right. So, I mean, it's not half his age can sound horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, technically it can still be skeevy to some people.
Yeah.
But she was
She's very
she was
obviously
23.
in her 20s. Yeah.
She was 23, he was 46.
Yucky.
Yeah. Like literally
Sorry.
literally half his age. I mean, life choices and whatnot. I mean, it is
Yeah.
acting.
It's a movie. Like whatever, man.
Yeah. I mean, but it definitely it shows. I mean, they at least acknowledge it kind of funnily in the movie itself. So
Like right as a love scene is about to happen, he looks at her and is like, "How old are you?"
well, I just love the part where he's like, "Aren't you tired?" Like, what?
Ma'am.
Wait, let me make a cup
Please.
of coffee before we get into this. So,
You mentioned the Silver Shamrock jingle. It was written by the composer who name escapes me. I didn't write down a lot of names.
Yeah.
But
I looked it up though, because I
Yeah.
was like, "Whoa, this guy has some serious Terminator vibes." Like original 1984, which came out 2 years before. Right.
Yes.
This is 86.
This is 86.
Yeah.
No. This is 85.
85. Okay, so 1 year before.
Yeah.
Very similar vibes
Very
in
similar.
that opening intro. Which,
Yeah.
by the way, I love extended intros with really good music and just menacing
Oh, yeah.
subtitles and all that
It's
stuff.
a great
good
great
build-up.
opening for a movie.
Yeah.
Was it?
That's why it's so hooky, is because it was made by a legit composer.
Oh yeah. He and John Carpenter came
Yes.
up with the song. They took a synthesizer and did London Bridge is Falling Down.
Hmm.
That is the basis for the Silver Shamrock commercial.
Which you would have
Yes.
heard in our Halloween special opening for this episode. So that's what we're talking about when we say the Silver Shamrock jingle.
Happy Halloween, Halloween,
And it
Halloween,
plays so
Halloween,
much because it literally
Halloween,
counts down to
Yes.
Halloween. Every different version,
Yes.
it does sound the same, but every different version is counting like 8 more days, 7 more days, 6 more days.
2
and
more
then
days.
and then as with
Happy
ours,
Halloween.
happy Halloween.
Yeah. And the vocals for that song and the announcer were done by the same person.
Really?
Yes. The director, Tommy Lee Wallace.
Okay. Oh no,
just-
different announcer. Sorry.
No, what?
I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about the
Oh, no.
intercom lady,
That is...
which is Jamie Lee
Jamie Lee
Curtis.
Curtis,
Great,
yes.
great use of cameo. I thought it was Sigourney Weaver for a
Oh, yeah.
second. It sounded very Ellen Ripley,
Man, I
What?
love Sigourney Weaver.
right?
She's just like best lady.
She's up there.
Yeah. But yeah, Tommy Lee Wallace was just in the booth the day that they were doing that, and they were like, "Hey, Tommy,
hey, you
come
want to
here."
do this? Wow.
Apparently, he has a great radio voice,
He
so they
does.
brought him in, and they were like, "Hey, say these words."
Right. Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah. Well, you hear it when he, it's like, it's almost time, boys and girls. Like,
yes,
yeah. Good voice on that.
very
So,
good voice.
what's our prim? Do you have some more
No,
info drop?
well, I do, but like I can drop it in. A big inspiration for this movie is Invasion of the Body Snatchers, which is very clear once you've seen the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, but the town that the Silver Shamrock factory is in is Santa Mira, which is where the original Invasion of the Body Snatchers is set.
Okay.
Yeah, there
Cool.
you go.
I
California.
like the, I see some of the inspirations to it, but I like Body Snatchers for the just straightforward dysphoria of, are they real? Can I trust them? Like, that's such a
Yes.
anxiety-inducing concept. So what's our premise for Season of the Witch? So what's
Yes.
the deal?
The premise of Season of the Witch is basically a piece of Stonehenge goes missing.
Well,
You won't
I
believe
mean,
how
can
they
you
did it.
notice if it right? You won't believe how we did it. Can we really say it's missing if nobody reported it? Like,
Well, they're
could
they're
you tell if
talking about
could
it.
you tell if a piece really?
It's on the news.
Really?
That's what he's watching. We open on a owner of a gas station who
Wow.
is watching a news report on the missing piece of
That's
Stonehenge.
very good. I did not catch that.
Really?
It's like people that don't realize they're talking about the lost spaceship in Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Yes, they are.
In the airport, in the final scene, they're talking about a missing space shuttle, which, if you know Planet of the Apes history, hints at the Planet of the Apes. I hope they finish those movies. I love those movies so much. Andy Serkis is amazing.
He is amazing. I hope he's having a good day.
I think he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway.
So I am blown away. I corrected and noted.
There you go.
Okay, so Stonehenge is missing a stone
A
and a
piece of
hinge.
Stonehenge goes missing.
Wait, why is it Stonehenge? There's no hinges in that place.
Ask Spinal Tap. I don't know. I know. I
Anyway.
did not. It was built by druids in
I thought it was aliens.
the before times. No,
Okay.
maybe,
I mean,
maybe. I
I'm
don't know.
pretty sure
Maybe Steven Spielberg can
it
answer
just
that question.
happened. Okay,
Rocks
I
just moved on their own.
right. Maybe they were born there. We don't
Maybe
know.
they just look like that. Jesus
Right.
said.
Didn't the
It looks
doctor
like
put
that.
them there? Didn't BBC already explain this? Come on.
Anyway, so it's 8 days till Halloween, and these masks start showing up at different stores made by the company Silver Shamrock.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a giveaway happening on Halloween night. Don't know what it is.
They're giving away your soul,
Basically.
pretty much.
There is literally no details for what they are giving away. It's
Oh,
just
yeah.
the big giveaway.
It's just hype.
Because they haven't thought that far ahead.
Well, no, I mean, they literally know. All we have to do is say there's a giveaway.
Yeah.
And the people will come. Like,
Yeah.
we don't have to actually have anything. I mean, like,
Exactly.
honestly, it's like the experiments where they have someone stand in a line,
Mhm.
and people just inherently like, oh, I guess this is where we stand, and suddenly a line forms for nothing. It's literally the same thing of, if you hype up, a contest with no prize enough, people aren't asking about the prize. They just want in,
Yeah, it's
whatever
like-
it is.
It's like what NSP does on Twitter, where they're like, get blocked by NSP, and people will like line up to get blocked by
Right.
NSP.
Like, it's just like, we don't know what we're here for, but,
Hey, why not? But anyway, so
they're giving away another of the only 3 options of masks.
yes,
You probably already have it, but here you go.
yeah, 2 of which were already in production. By Dawn Post is the company,
Oh, they were like legit masks?
like legit masks. It
Oh,
was
wow.
the skull and the witch.
I was going to say
the-
that because the
Yes.
pumpkin's the one they use for the kill scenes.
Exactly, the pumpkin was made specifically for the movie.
that.
And
Which is appropriate because Halloween, the
Mhm.
whole idea of Halloween, like in the first one, it's the pumpkin in the
Yes.
shape of Michael Myers. And this one, the opening sequence is the digital.
yes.
That's really good. Okay.
And fun fact, a lot of the time you'll see a poster of a pumpkin with a skull in it. That is not for Halloween 2. That is for Halloween 3. It is often marketed as for Halloween 2. That is a mistake.
Hmm.
I have several shirts like that.
Interesting.
I have a Halloween 2 shirt with that on it, and I'm just like, it's wrong.
Right.
Because I couldn't find a Halloween 3 shirt.
And that's what happens when the assets get out there and people are just making brands.
Yeah, they're just making stuff.
It just happens.
But anyway, so our lovely Dr. Mustache.
I don't think he's that lovely. But
I like him as a character.
Yeah.
But whatever.
He's
He's
kind of a hoe.
He is kind of a hoe. He's just like...
He's sleeping with everybody in this movie.
He's little Jack Horner. He's got his fingers in so many
This
pies.
is like Grey's Anatomy before there was Grey and Anatomy.
Right. Right. But yeah, he treats...
To be fair, he's not wed. We
No,
confirmed
he's
that.
divorced.
So he technically... well, I don't believe technically that just gives you the right to just go around, but technically there's nothing illegal or immoral.
Yeah.
Unless you're just of a type that I am, where I'm just like, keep your biscuit in your pants. Come on.
What is kind of a jerk move is that he keeps blowing off his kids. Just to be like...
Okay.
Even before nonsense starts.
Yes. Okay. But here's the thing. We could technically hold past sins against him that like apparently happened before this film starts, but literally every time he blows off his kids this time, it's because legit stuff is going down.
Yeah, his wife
Somebody
isn't helpful.
just died.
Someone just died in a very
but
cool
here's the
way.
thing. If he would explain that, like he just said, a couple people died. Jim, this is a hospital, okay? People die all the time, unfortunately. So it's like, you got to be more clear than that, bub.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's just, if he would help her understand, I think it might be a little better. But at the same time, she just wants to get rid of the kids, which, I mean, I don't know. But every time he's like, hey, Karen, hang on, like, I can't do it today. Like, he's kind of technically trying to save the world. So
technically,
I think that's justifiable for not taking your kid to Chuck E. Cheese.
I guess, but I don't want to take our kids to Chuck E. Cheese anyway. We don't even have kids.
And here's the thing: it was like, you're not taking your kids trick or treat. Why are they trick or treating? There's the big giveaway. They're going to be watching TV.
The big giveaway is at midnight.
Don't keep your kids up to midnight. That's a bad thing. That's not good. It's
bad
not good for
beans.
their little brains.
Yeah. This movie has two of the coolest deaths, one after another. Because like we have the guy who is ranting and raving, holding a pumpkin mask, that they're gonna kill us all. He's the reason.
Yeah, him in the beginning. Yeah.
He's the guy that he doesn't break in. He runs into the gas station that the guy's working at, and he's like, "Hey."
He somehow discovered what stuff was going on, and that's where we open up. It's like somebody discovered he's being chased by the Men in Black.
Yes.
Not that Men in Black, not that Men in Black, and not that Men in Black.
No.
But that Men in Black.
That Men in Black. The coolest.
If you don't get that joke, like.
You haven't talked to me for more than 15 minutes.
Right. Look into the history of Men in Black, and also just watch the probably Tommy Lee Jones' greatest film, and then you'll get it.
Right.
Right.
But yeah, he's being chased by Men in Black, and he passes out onto a gurney, and in the middle of the night.
No, hang on. He doesn't pass. It's not
he gets sedated.
No, still no. He just collapses, and he gets brought to the hospital by a hobo.
He's not the hobo. He is the owner of the gas station.
Really?
Thank you. Yes.
I thought he was just there.
No.
Okay.
He's
See, clearly, apparently wasn't paying attention in that point. I just love that the guy's just like, I'm here. My mama taught me to always help people.
I'm leaving.
Unless that gets me in trouble. This isn't gonna get me in trouble, is it? Like, such a great. And
Very
then
valid.
I love when the dude starts freaking out and he just dips.
Yeah.
I'm done.
It's fair.
Oh, there is trouble. There's trouble here. I'm leaving.
Yeah. He gets a very cool death where one of the Men in Black, whose name is Dick Warlock, I want to point out. Not the character's name. The actor's name is Dick Warlock.
Nice.
Right? That's such a cool freaking name.
We're not going to entertain that too much.
Of course not. But he, reaches into his eye sockets and breaks his skull.
Okay. Trigger warning.
Sorry. We're talking about a horror movie.
Yeah, it's very creative way to do somebody in, I guess. But
and then he do himself in by going to the car, dousing himself in gasoline, and
which I learned is called emulations.
Yes, self-immolation.
So there you go. Yes. Which that was a really, because it's a very fast pace. Like once he runs away, and then Dr. Mustache shows up and for some reason chases after him because you're a doctor. Clearly, you're meant to fight crime and bacteria.
Well, it's like what am I gonna do when someone shoplifts in the Barnes and Noble? Like, am I gonna chase
Apparently,
them down the hall and just
apparently,
be
you're gonna
like,
chase them down or make sure that they light themselves on fire.
wait till they
You know,
self-immolate
like
in the
right.
parking lot? Like,
But it's just very fast paced, and all of a sudden you see him pouring gas, and then all of a sudden he's exploded.
he's exploded.
Like it's very quick to digest, which I think is the best way to do something like that, where you're
Yeah.
just like, wait, what happened? What is this? What does this mean? Who are these people?
Yeah.
Very cool, very cool.
Very, very cool.
It also produces one of the nicest subplots of this, I think, where they gather all this stuff and they're trying to find out about the individual. They're trying to. I mean, I don't know what you would figure out in that kind of autopsy,
Well,
but
forensics in general.
yeah. I mean, if anything in terms of that leads, where did he come from? What did he have contact with?
Where did he
So
go?
they're going through all of this stuff and they're like, oh no, this is just car parts.
Yeah.
And I love the little, like if you catch it that early,
Mhm.
wait, car parts.
It's all just
That
plastic and metal.
right. But every time they revisit, it's a little bit more. It's just like like clockwork pieces and this other like
Mhm.
the further you dig, the whole movie they're setting up what eventually gets revealed in the end, that these men in black are toy
Automatons.
automaton creations from
Yeah.
Capron, from because he's a toy maker.
Yeah.
He
That's his whole
apparently
steez.
either him or his family in general has been making toys forever.
I think it's his family.
I think so because like you said, his family goes back way back, way back.
Mhm.
So I think this has been a passed down thing, and
Yeah.
he's now the one to usher in the new festival of
Samhain.
Samhain, which is Halloween.
Halloween?
Um,
Often mispronounced as Samhain. It's Samhain.
So yeah, so like that's his whole shtick. That's why he's doing everything he's doing, is to have a happy Halloween,
Mhm.
but not with candy.
No.
With dead children.
He has a great monologue of like, you raised your children with the idea of Halloween being, you put on masks and you go door to door and get candy.
Mhm.
That's very, that's summarizing.
Sure.
But like, you go watch the movie.
To us, it's piles of bodies and
Mhm.
sacrifices and all this other stuff. Like
Exactly.
it's dealing in very pagan, very arcane things,
Oh, yeah.
and that's where Stonehenge somehow comes in, because they basically, stay with me here, reverse engineer Stonehenge to technology.
Well, they take pieces off of Stonehenge and crush it into teeny tiny little bits of dust and put those into chips that
into
are
microchips
into
that
the
they put on the
mask.
masks. That
Yes.
when the giveaway happens,
Yeah.
at the allotted haunting hour,
Yeah.
then the children die, basically.
Exactly.
Because Stonehenge.
In the coolest way possible.
But here's the thing. What I wonder is if that's like automatically programmed into Stonehenge,
Mhm.
which is what gives the magic to, because you cannot deny that it's magic.
Yes.
Like how they kill
it
the
was
kids.
built by the Druids.
Yeah, how they kill the kids is very magic-y, dark
Yeah.
magic-y.
There was a big meeting between the screenplay writer and Tommy Lee Wallace, who is credited as writing the screenplay. That is incorrect.
Okay.
The screenplay was written by a guy named Nigel Neer,
Mm-hmm.
who is a huge name in television. I think he wrote a Bond film.
Okay.
Like, he is big in British television.
Mm-hmm.
He wrote about 65% of the screenplay.
Mm-hmm.
And then, Tommy Lee Wallace and John Carpenter went through and were like, well, let's make some edits.
Mm-hmm.
But when Nigel Neer saw the movie for the first time and he saw how violent it was,
Mm-hmm.
which it's not that violent comparatively, he said, take my name off of it.
Okay.
He didn't want to be credited.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, no one credited in this is remembered specifically for it, apparently.
Yeah.
So, which is sad.
It's so sad.
So yeah, so we only see it happen once, but like the mask decays and somehow produces vermin and insects and snakes, and like it assumably eats the kid's face.
Well, that's the thing, is that it's coming out of the kid's face.
Okay.
It's not the mask, it's the child that is...
So that it makes him a funnel for nasty, creepy, crawly, itty things.
Yeah.
That then
It's
kill
really
his
cool.
parents and everything. But like
Yeah.
So, my question is, would that happen if you were just at Stonehenge at midnight every Halloween? Or, like, is this just a special... I mean, I know he says the
Yeah.
planets are aligning or something, like, but what... Like, I mean, I'm not asking you as if you know, but, like, it's just... I'm curious what other implications this... Like, what was Stonehenge itself doing on the other side of the world while all of this was happening? Just very interesting to me.
It's something that's not really explored. I think that they would have explored it if they had gotten more movies. But basically, the premise was we're going to bring witchcraft into the digital age.
Sure.
And how can we
Which
do
is
that?
interesting. It's an interesting way to go about that. Like, things like Unfriended tried it. You know...
I think Host was a much better redo of Unfriended.
So there's elements of, like, hey, it's magic, but also technology, which is an interesting concept. To be fair, this doesn't have to explain everything, and I don't expect every movie to explain everything. It's just, it's good when it kind of gets the thoughts going in terms of what does this mean and everything. So, obviously, throughout the film, that plot is uncovered, but, like, it happens through our doctor and the daughter of the guy that gets killed.
Yes, Ellie. I don't remember her actress's name.
I so really she's the 23-year-old, and obviously Mustache Man is the 46-year-old.
Yeah, there are some other players in this movie that we have not mentioned yet.
The morgue technician.
Yeah,
that's about it.
No, well, there's the morgue technician. There's the family with the little buddy.
Okay. Well, the kid that gets killed, he's the Willy Wonka of this.
Yes,
or he's the whatever his face is.
And he is
Charlie. There you go.
No, his name is.
No, I mean
Buddy.
I was trying to remember the stupid kid in the golden ticket. I don't like those movies. Get over it. Like, okay, Gene Wilder's cool, but that's about it. It's not even Gene Wilder, is it?
Yeah,
it is Gene Wilder.
Yes.
Okay.
I love you so much.
Gene Hackman. That's who I'm thinking of. Gene Hackman's amazing.
Completely different person.
Sure, both named Gene.
Anyway, so there's the family, there's the sales guy who sold the most masks, that's why he's there. That's what leads to the... They
need their control. So, like, they test it out on him early.
Yes.
So he's the first example, and that's how we see what happens. Because in the end, we don't see what happens. But at some point, you know, the first part of this is all investigation, and then the second half is all trying to stop it.
Yes. And in the middle, there's another character that we need to mention because she has the best prosthetic.
Oh, the stupid lady at the hotel?
Well, she's not stupid.
She's annoying.
She's there to pick up another mask because she ran over her kids.
That's where we get the first, okay, this is really not okay, because, like, so the little chip comes out.
Yeah, she finds the back of the chip on the silver
why would you tamper with it? First of all, like, why would you just poke?
I think she just wanted to know. Which, the thing that gets me is that she did not take her hairpins out before going to bed, which is obnoxious if you're a lady who wears hairpins.
But why would you just like, if you just find a computer chip, you don't just poke it.
She's like fiddling with it to kind of see what it is.
And then it zaps her.
And then it just like sends blue light into her mouth, which is just
where we get the best emphasis of what you're talking about, where it turns the kid's face hole into a funnel for these bad things.
A weta cricket crawls out of her mouth.
Is it a cricket?
It's a cricket. It's a weta.
Are you
Have
sure?
you ever seen a weta? They're huge.
It looked like a bee.
No, it's a weta.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's a weta with you? Just kidding. Yeah, I mean, she's kind of a side character. She's there to have that experience so that we get some, oh my gosh, what is happening?
And she's still alive when they take her away from the hotel.
Really?
Yeah, she's
she didn't stay that way for long.
Oh, no.
She got turned into a robot.
Yeah, we see her under the sheet after,
Oh, that's right, yeah. So, yeah, she gets turned into a robot. Because apparently they can do that because our little friend Ellie, who this movie tries to make you like...
I like her.
She's okay. I just wish she would not hang out with Mustache Man so much.
I don't think she has a choice.
That is not a great relationship. So, daddy issues are not a solution for father issues.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
They had a great time working together, though.
Oh, clearly. I'm just saying. So,
I'm gonna punch you.
they, like, regardless, whether you like her or not, like, yeah, at the end, a really great twist. After you think a lot of, things...
you think it's over.
Yeah.
Like, they're on their way to happiness.
Yeah, well, on their way to try and pull it from the air. Because even though he's able to stop Cochran and his goons, he's not able to stop the production because it's not necessarily controlled there. They've already they've sent it to be broadcast. So he's rushing to try and do that, and that's when she attacks him out of nowhere. And it's like, what? No, his sort of girlfriend boo thing. What's wrong with her? She's a toy.
Yeah,
automaton or whatever.
We get a great scene of why won't you die? Like,
I didn't think it was as bad as some people make it out to be. Oh no, yeah, I don't think it was as repetitive. I thought it was a good repetitive. I thought it was a good, like, but to be fair, the way you kill these things is very inconsistent because at one point he punches one and it's done.
Yeah, he punches one in the chest and it starts spewing goo.
Right. Meanwhile, Ellibot can get her arm taken off, her head taken off, and her leg taken off, and still keeps on kicking.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like, goodness gracious.
Because it's a movie. It's fun.
So, but that eventually, that delays him, but he's fine. So, it's being run, but he gets to a place and he calls somebody.
He gets to the original gas station that we start the movie in, and he calls the station, and he's like, hey, I can't prove it, but these kids are going to die if you don't take this commercial off the air.
Which, I mean, you kind of have to, like, I feel like in that moment you do kind of have to just be like, I don't want to see you prove it. I just, that's some pretty high stakes. Let's just do that.
Because you don't know if he's going to kill the kids or
right.
if,
What does that mean? I don't want to find out. So, but that's one of my favorite scenes.
Some of the best acting.
Where he's
in this
just
movie.
like, they get it off one, and he's just like, take it off, and they get to like the third channel, and he's just begging them to stop, and it's just so good. And then the final one, he turns to the camera, and hollers, and then it's done, and it's just like, did he do it? Did he not?
Here's the stakes: it's not just every kid in America that's buying his mask. His ex-wife bought his kids these masks.
Oh yeah. Oh
so,
yeah. He has a scene
thing.
where he calls her to try and say, like, "Hey, take the masks away. Don't watch this. Like, stop." Again, because of his track record, kind of doesn't go over that well.
No.
But Karen did not help. Goodness gracious! Regardless of what estrangement would happen between us, I hope that if I call you and say, "Hey, our kids are in danger," you would listen.
Yeah,
like come on, like put us behind each other and like think of the children. Goodness gracious!
Let somebody think of the children. Nancy Reagan.
Most of his best acting, surprisingly, is on the phone.
He does have
when
some
it can just
acting.
be him and he can monologue a little bit.
Yeah.
It's great.
There is so much that I love about this movie.
It's a really, really good movie.
Yeah.
It's worth a watch if you're looking for a Halloween movie, or if you're just looking for a movie to watch. Again, it's not super scary.
No.
It's not scary at all.
It's a weeknight movie.
If anything, it's got a few gross moments.
Like
if anything.
the spewing of the yellow goo, the first microchip kill.
Mm-hmm.
That one is gruesome. Like you see half of her face missing. It's gross, but like
I've seen worse.
Yeah. If you are not a fan of bugs and snakes, you probably don't want to watch the mask scene. But
don't watch the Animal Planet channel.
Don't watch it. This movie is very fun.
How many ghosts would you give it?
I'd give it 8 out of 10 ghosts.
8 out of 10 ghosts.
I'd
give it a 7 out of 10 ghosts. It's a pretty solid movie.
Yeah.
Not perfect, but I think it had a lot against it. The entire existence of it, for sure.
That's I watched a featurette on the making of this movie, and it made me so sad because the people who worked on it, they all had a great time working on it. The executives hate this movie. There were audiences that hated this movie. Like I put a poll on Twitter earlier, asking, what are your feelings about Halloween 3 Season of the Witch?
How many people hadn't heard of it?
And the 3 options were liked it, didn't like it, and never seen it. 0% didn't like it. 27% liked it, and 73% had never seen it.
So the majority, at least who has seen it, liked it. So that's good.
And, like, the two comments that we got were, haven't seen it in a while. This is from Blue Milk Cafe.
Okay.
Have not seen it in a while. From what I remember, it's okay, but without Michael Myers, it shouldn't be a part of the Halloween franchise, in my opinion.
I think we kind of addressed that in our feelings.
And in Dex Belligan,
it's fancy.
It is very fancy. Said, I think if it hadn't been plunked into the Halloween series of films, people would be far kinder to it.
See, that's my thing. If they hadn't done Halloween 2, or if they had just done this on its own, totally different experience. We could be talking about a completely different film here.
Yeah, I love this movie.
It's a good movie.
I think I've said that a couple of times.
It's very much worth your time, and hopefully this Halloween, you'll give it to say when, or else.
Or else you might turn into gross bugs.
Yeah. Speaking of, be sure to tune into our giveaway this Friday at 9.
Yes.
No, I'm just kidding.
Happy Halloween.
No, but yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this. It's kind of a one-off. We will be starting a back-to-back you talk, then I talk kind of thing. Or maybe I talk, you talk. I don't remember the order. I don't read. Nonetheless, we are taking a couple of weeks to look at international media.
Are.
So we've kind of taken each month and branded it and said, hey, we're talking about this, we're talking about this, we're talking about this. So next month we're spending a good bit of time talking about international media. So what that means is media made outside of the U.S. Or whether that be films, whether that be TV shows, whatnot. It could be that it releases. You can watch it in America, sure, but the idea behind it is that it's from somewhere else.
Yes.
Because we have quite a lot of that we like, and so we'd love to talk about a little bit of it. We're not obviously talking about all of it.
No.
We're gonna nitpick here and there of what we cover and everything. So be sure to tune in, and it's a great reason to follow us on social media, Twitter especially, to keep up with that, because much like this, we'll have some polls, we'll have some input. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah.
And it's not too late. You can still find, you might not be able to vote, but you can still find the, tweet about Halloween 3, especially after you watch it. We'd love to hear what you think.
Yeah.
If you have seen it and hadn't had a chance to speak up, definitely speak up. We'd love to hear from you. Other than that, all the good stuff. Thank you to our patrons who support this show. Thank you to everyone who listens. If you liked it, be sure to show that you liked it. Show us and show others actually like it. If you're watching this on YouTube, rate it if it's a podcast. Share it no matter what it is.
Yeah.
We would absolutely love that, and it all goes to helping the show grow in its own way. We'll be talking about something Star Wars later. We've had some schedule conflict with some things, so we're working on what that will be. No matter what it will be, it'll be Star Wars, so it's going to be awesome. Hopefully, maybe.
Yeah.
It will be awesome. Us, who knows? But nonetheless, tune into that later this week, and then we will also be finally discussing the season 2 finale of Star Wars Rebels this weekend as well. If you're a fan of that series, if you're a fan of Rebels and our Rebels rewatch, thank you for your patience. It's that's a tough one sometimes to get to, and we don't mean for it to be. We don't mean in general to not be as good as we are or hope to be with the schedule and everything. I think we think that life is going to be easier on us than it is sometimes, and it's like, we can make it happen, So, but thank you guys for always being patient and understanding. We're always trying and wanting to deliver the best and, be reliable and all that stuff. So,
yeah. And, thank you for being understanding that right now is not normal.
Yeah. So, but if you have any input on any of the stuff, if you have ideas for shows, if you have input for schedule changes, if you have anything to say to us, you can say it on Twitter.
Yeah. What do you think of the Grudge series?
I prefer the originals. Oh, sorry.
Also,
okay.
I'm going to ask your opinion soon.
Okay. So with that, hope you have a good rest of your week until you have us in your ears or your face again. Whenever that may be.
Maybe.
Have a happy Halloween.
Yeah.
Stay away from the masks. Don't trust any Irishmen.
And stop it.
Stop it.
Stop
it now.
Stop it now. I don't have enough mustache.